What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the world's most electric city. And that is the city of Oslo in Norway. Now, most Americans have heard about how Norway has lots of electric cars, but apparently Oslo has taken electrification a step further. And that is what I'm really interested in learning about today. Here in America, we are really at the beginning stages of trying to go electric. There's a small percentage of our population that has electric cars. We're pretty slow compared to Norway. So this sounded really interesting to me because I know Norway is kind of a pioneer in promoting electric cars, but this Oslo apparently is doing even more than that. So let's take a look.
These are the world's first all-electric passenger ferries. So what are these men doing? Take a guess.
They're about to charge it?
I was talking to the audience, but yes, Dusty, that's right.
That's They're charging the boat? That is awesome. That is ridiculous. Electric ferries, electric boats with a giant charger. I've never seen such a thing.
This is one of Oslo's all-electric ferries.
Wow.
And it only takes 6 minutes to charge the battery for this ship's 60-minute round trip.
Wow.
What you're about to see is the complicated way these ferries get charged.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, I was surprised too. That's it. How
Wow.
freaking simple is that?
Wow.
I
mean, if you have electric ferries, electric boats, I feel like so many different things could be electrified. Like I was saying, here in America, we're just starting to kind of care about that. Even though Tesla is an American company, and we make lots of electric cars here, not a big part of our population really is on board with that yet.
Here in Oslo to explore how they are electrifying essentially all of their transportation.
Look at that crazy dude. He's skiing on asphalt. Holy sh**. I've never seen that before.
That is the most Norwegian thing ever that could have happened right there. Skiing on concrete. Okay. Anyway, not what this video is about. Oslo is making everything electric? That's pretty awesome.
Oslo is electrifying essentially everything. Trams, buses,
Wow.
cars, ferries, bikes, scooters. And they're doing this because they have some of the most audacious climate emissions cut goals in the world.
Like, for real.
Okay.
By 20...
So this is all really because Norway, as a country, has decided to make this a priority. And sadly, like here in America, we care about it, sort of. But it's not a priority. Like, Norway, to be doing this, like even the buses are electric. At least in Oslo, they're electric. You have some of the most ambitious, electrification goals on Earth, and that's awesome. Somebody has to lead the effort on this, and I think it's Norway.
For real. By 2030, Oslo's climate budget calls for a nearly 100% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions compared to 2009 levels.
Wow.
These targets actually put Oslo in line with the 1.5 degrees Celsius target set by the Paris Agreement.
Okay.
Norway is seen as one of the most sustainable places in the world.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. If you asked an American, what is Norway known for? They might say electric vehicles before anything else. A lot of people know this about Norway.
Paradoxically, its largest industry is oil and gas, and it's made them incredibly rich. But more on that later.
True.
Oslo's government is investing heavily in key sectors they think can help them reach their emissions goals. The construction and transportation sectors together account for 67% of emissions in Oslo.
Wow.
So we came here to see how they're electrifying everything from construction sites down to scooters. While the city of Oslo is making great progress towards its emissions goals, the country, well, not so much.
Oh.
My name is Sigrun Osland. I am the director of Zero Emission Resource Organization in Norway. What we do is promote solutions to the climate crisis, really. Norway has a history in climate policies of setting many goals over many years and not achieving them.
Oh my God. Wow. I think Norway is a little hard on itself. Apparently, this segment is like, oh, how Norway is not meeting all of its goals as a country, but it's like, I think that's because your goals are so high. Really, you're still doing better than 99% of the planet, right?
I think in Oslo, what's made it possible is that Oslo has this climate budget where they actually commit politicians to cutting emissions.
Okay.
Believed to be the first of its kind, the climate budget integrates decision-making about emissions alongside financial budgeting, elevating the practical importance of addressing climate change.
So Oslo has made like a concerted effort and basically pledged and, formed a budget to accomplish all of these goals. That's really cool. Maybe the rest of Norway is going to follow, but I don't view this as a failure of Norway, like, at all. Like, I think it's more Oslo kind of paving the path for the rest of Norway to, like, follow in its footsteps and do that. I mean, I still think Norway is leaps and bounds in front of the United States for what that counts.
Oslo implemented its climate budget in 2016, and it's not a very complex and complicated instrument. We
Okay.
need to count CO2 as we count money, so there is a budget that you cannot exceed. It makes politicians accountable to actually keep to it.
Okay. EV capital of the world.
We called another car via Uber, and we're going to see if it's electric.
It's going to be
Looks
electric.
like it is a Prius, and it is Prius hybrid, so half.
Hybrid. Okay.
Road transportation accounts for nearly 50% of Oslo emissions, with the single biggest contributor being, you guessed it, scooters.
I almost hit that girl.
Scooters. I didn't realize scooters were so popular in Norway or Oslo, or electric scooters.
I almost hit that girl.
No, not scooters, cars.
Oh, okay, cars.
So we decided to rent an electric car to explore. I'll let Dusty tell you.
So, Dusty, what are we doing today?
Oh, yeah. I'm not really sure, actually. I think we're just getting in this car and going for a joyride, right?
Yeah, I've actually, personally, I have never driven in an electric car that I know of. Maybe I got an Uber once. Maybe once. I've never driven an electric car. I really want to drive one. Maybe I've been in an electric car once. I kind of forget. I mean, it's that rare, honestly.
I mean, yeah, neither of us had driven a Tesla before, so free think credit card.
Oh my God, how does this work?
It's in the car.
Yeah, they don't know how to do
Hi,
it.
crew. I don't know if it's on. I don't know where the keys are. And I haven't owned a car since I was 16, so
This is most Americans. Like, we have not driven Teslas and electric cars. I wouldn't know what to do.
it'll be
So
interesting.
scary.
What could possibly go wrong?
I will say Norwegians are horrible drivers, and there's a lot of traffic accidents. So
Okay.
Oh my
Let's hit the gas,
God.
though.
By 2025, all new cars sold in Norway must be zero emission. The country is already known for having the most electric vehicles in the world, but that didn't happen by chance.
By 2025? Like, Norway has zero emission. Does that mean 100% electric cars by 2025? That's next year. Is that true? That's unbelievable.
Government policy going back to the 1990s, well ahead of the rest of the world, has incentivized the purchase and use of EVs through lower taxes, free parking and charging, emission-free car zones, and ring tolls that penalize drivers of petrol cars.
Oh, this makes so much sense. So this is how Norway accomplished all this. As a country, all of these incentives, reasons to use an electric vehicle, all of these benefits. That makes a lot of sense. We should definitely be doing stuff like this here.
This is the best-selling Norwegian vehicle of all time.
Oh.
The only electric vehicle currently manufactured in Norway.
Oh.
This is the Paxter. I mean,
What? What is this? The Paxter. This is made in Norway. I've never even seen a vehicle like this. What? It's so tiny. Is this just for like companies? Like to drive around equipment? Who uses this thing?
it's basically a golf cart, right?
I'm not an expert on golf cars.
Well, me neither. This is Catherine Lund. She works at the company that makes this kind of golf cart, the Paxter.
Yeah, this looks like a golf cart. Like, you have golf carts in Norway. Like, you have golf. Yeah. It's just a tiny little electric cart. Okay. Who uses this, though?
We developed the Paxter together with Norwegian Post. So they needed a vehicle that was
Oh.
green, of course, ergonomic, efficient in their daily delivery.
Norwegian posties enter and exit their vehicle over 700 times a day when delivering the mail. That's why the Paxter doesn't have doors.
This makes sense to me. You know, I was laughing at first because it looks kind of funny. Because I've literally never seen something like this in America. Like, off of a golf course. This is really practical for mail, postal service delivery people, and other delivery things. And I could see a lot of uses for this cart. So this is actually pretty cool. Ferries.
Designed in Norway and built in Turkey, these are the first all-electric passenger ferries in the world.
Wow.
And they're whisper quiet.
They're
That's
quiet.
the water making noise, but the engine's not very loud.
This is really cool. These wouldn't have much of a purpose in the United States. We don't have ferries. We don't have many bodies of water that we need to travel across ever. This is very Norwegian, the idea of a ferry, but an electric ferry, I still think that's cool.
Those engines are being powered by 1,017 kilowatt hours of batteries on board.
Wow.
And this is the battery that powers the ferry, the ferry operator. A 6-minute, 2,000 kilowatt supercharge gives the ship all it needs for a 60-minute round trip.
Wow.
A ferry could operate for 3 hours straight without recharging and has backup generators just in case.
I mean, I think it's really cool. Even if in America we don't have a use for this, just the proof, Norway is proving you can electrify anything. When are they going to make electric airplanes, I wonder? I don't know if anybody's done that. But electric boats, I mean, this is something Americans, like, do not know even exists. A tram.
I'm determined to take as many modes of electric transportation as possible while in Norway.
This is cool. I've never been on something like this. This is like public transportation, which we're not known for here in America. I think if you go to some big American cities, you might find a tram, but they're pretty rare. These are like built into the road, right?
Norway. So next up is the tram.
Huh. It's like a bus.
How do the people of Oslo feel about this electrification? Well, Oslovians, Osloites? One inhabitant of Oslo told us that people don't generally notice as long as the train or tram they need each day shows up when they need it.
People don't really notice. But I'm sure Norwegians are proud of all these electric vehicles and transportation. I'm sure you're proud of it. Like, even though after a while, since this is normal for you, I guess you don't even really think about it anymore, huh?
This sign essentially saying give your car a rest and choose to be green and ride public transit.
Our experience with public transport was that it was clean, frequent, busy but not overcrowded, and one app for purchasing fares made it simple and easy to use.
Oh, that's cool. There's like one app and you can pay to get on any of the Norwegian public transport. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, to be honest, as an American, I never think about public transport. Americans drive everywhere in our gas cars. That is the vast majority of America. We have a lot of catching up to do.
The fight against climate change requires new, innovative approaches. We aim at least to triple our funding for climate adaptation and resilience.
Wow.
As we've seen, there are a number of reasons electrification makes sense for Oslo as their path to a cleaner future. And that path might not make sense for other cities with their own unique circumstances. But Oslo can be seen as a case study, a role model even, for how a city can leverage its built-in advantages and get truly aggressive about addressing climate change.
Yeah. It's really just a proof of concept. Super cool if you dedicate funding and effort to building the electric infrastructure, the charging stations, and then the buses and the trams and the scooters and the ferries and the cars. You can make it happen.
Even when its own country isn't moving as deliberately. But recently, Norway actually followed the city of Oslo's lead in adopting its own national climate budget.
Oh.
Cities can lead countries, and cities can be inspirations to each other. What innovations are just waiting to be unleashed in cities across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas that efforts like Oslo's can inspire?
Yeah.
The electrification of Oslo could maybe be the kindling that lights the fire of urban climate action worldwide.
I totally agree with that. This was awesome. Oslo, and by extension Norway, is really leading by example for what the future is going to look like. Like, it's so crazy for Norwegians. Like, you're living in the future. To you, it's just normal. But for Americans like me, this is like cool stuff that I'm excited to have here. And I think Oslo is setting that example. I thought this was awesome. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on electrification in Norway, in Oslo. What you think about it. If you're Norwegian, if you're proud of it, and what you think about Norway has accomplished. That'd be awesome to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and learning about Norwegian culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.